This is J. Krishnamurti's 7th discussion with teachers at Rishi Valley, 1978.
I wonder if you have thought any more about what we were talking about yesterday morning. I'm a bit early. 2 minutes. We were talking yesterday, weren't we? How to approach a problem. A problem which is quite complex, and all human problems are inevitably very, very complex. And here is a problem, which is we want to bring about a group of students who are not mediocre, who are not oriented to a career, job, marriage, and the establishment, if I may use that word without any derogatory sense. And if that is not possible, that is to bring about a human being who is totally developed, not merely academically, but psychologically, a complete human being without all the stresses, strains, sorrow, pain, and all the rest of it. If that is not possible, then what is the function of a school of this kind? In principle, I think most of us agreed, at least intellectually, if not more deeply, that in principle this should be done. If it's merely an intellectual idea to be carried out, then the problem arises of division, rivalry, exclusiveness, antagonism between the minor group and the major group, and so on, if it is purely intellectual. And I'm afraid that has been our problem. We have approached it rather intellectually. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Is there any other approach to the problem? It has been pointed out that to approach the problem holistically. I don't know if you know if I may use that word, it has been introduced by the scientists, holistic, that means whole. Is it possible to approach this problem holistically? And that is possible only if we are not biased, if there is no prejudice, if there is no fear and from a point which you have already arrived at. And we said mind that can approach holistically is a mind that starts with not knowing completely, totally. And when in that state, which we termed rather hesitantly, rather shyly, love, then the problem becomes very clear. And the solution also. That's where we came to briefly this morning, making a resume of what we talked about yesterday. That's what we came to yesterday. Now, we must discuss, please discuss with me, with each other, what is we want to do. Even if you approach it holistically, wholly, that is academic, as well as this whole psychological complexity of man, what is one to do? That's the way. Can we proceed from there? Please, you're the teacher, so please.
We have been discussing for nearly 45 minutes before we come here. And we would like to discuss a few things arising out of what we've been discussing. You said yesterday that fact is not fragmentary, but we make this fact fragmentary because we bring a fragmentary mind to it and project what doesn't belong to the fact on it. Also you said that as a sequence, I don't know, this is wholeness, and you also said it has this quality of love, and it is able to see the detail, the fact, in a different way.
Yeah.
The third thing we have been saying is that an open mind is different from an empty mind.
I would like to be clear what you mean by open mind. And
you have been saying, we discussed it also. Can we go into these a little further?
An open mind.
An open mind as distinct from an empty mind.
An empty mind.
Because it seems to be closely related to the fact I don't know.
Shall we begin with fact? We said yesterday, if I remember rightly, a fact has no... A fact, what did we say?
This fact is never fragmentary.
Yes. I can't repeat myself, that's right. A fact is never fragmentary. Is that so? Right? Is that so? Let's go ahead. All right. There is anger, that's a fact. Or violence, let's take violence for a change. Violence is a fact. It's not fragmentary. A fact is never fragmentary. But what takes place is, being violent, there is the thought has created its opposite, which is non-violence. Right? Violence, thought has created non-violence. The non-violence gives an illusory perception that fact is fragmentary. I don't know if I've conveyed it. Right? Have I got it? Have you got it?
Sir, could we speak about the nature of wholeness? Because
just
something like violence appears to be a fragment.
It is a fragment, but it's a fact.
And so it's a
Wait,
fragment,
wait.
and it's not a fragment. Then
Look, sir.
You can see the effect.
Huh?
fragment can still be a fragment.
Yeah, of course.
But
No,
Then-
I would
but
like.
then it's not, but then it's not a fragment.
No,
Because we
just
said that
just
facts
look
are
at
not
it,
fragments.
Scott. Just let's go slowly at it. We mean by a fragment. What do we mean by a fragment? That which is broken away from something, right? Right? A fragment of a vase, a fragment of a torn picture, a fragment of a human being, nail, eye, so on. So, we mean by a fragment that which has been broken away from what it was originally. Would you accept that? Huh? Would you? Don't agree with me. I mean,
A piece of original thing.
Yeah.
broken away.
now, if we can use a different word instead of fragment, could we say a thing that is broken? Instead of using a fragment, a thing that has been broken up, like a vase broken up, a glass shattered.
Isn't that in relation to how you look at it? The piece of the vase, it may be a fact in itself. If you look at it in relation to the totality of a vase, it's a piece. If you look at it as an object that might be found in a
Yes,
in a-
yes.
in
So-
excavation of
Now, how are
centuries
you?
ago,
That's
it
what
is
I
a
want to
fact
get at.
in itself.
How do we look at a broken piece? Is it in relationship to the whole or by itself? Just go slowly. Let's evolve it. Let's explore it. Is it, when you look at a broken up thing, is it in relationship to the whole or by itself? Now just a minute. I want to go into this very carefully. We think we are individuals, right? And so this individuality is a separate from the whole. This individuality has been separated from the whole through various incidents, accidents, a process of culture, civilization, struggle, pain, and so on, by thought. Right? The wholeness of man is not put together by thought, but the individual is put together by thought and so broken up from the whole. I don't know if I'm conveying this. Go slowly in this. Right? Huh? All right, let's go into it. This person, is the representative of mankind, right? Would you? Right? Because I suffer, I go through hell, I go through misery, I go through every form of confusion, uncertainty, insecurity, comparative struggle, and so on, which every other human being does. So I am actually the whole of mankind. Would you accept that?
One can challenge that in a way, Krishnaji. If one says that the individual is also a fact, as a human being, whatever I am is a fact. If I die, that fact ceases to exist.
Go on.
But the whole of humanity is unaffected. The whole goes on. Therefore, there is a certain factness.
No,
about
I
the
want
individual.
first let's go, you come to further conclusion. I haven't yet come to that. Is this a fact that I am the whole of mankind? Psychologically, of course, not you are a woman, I'm a man, or you're tall, I'm short, you are wide and I'm narrow, and so on. Apart from that, psychologically, I am the rest of mankind.
I can see that I'm similar to them, but why do you say it is same?
Similarity. All right, I'll use the word similar if you prefer it. Huh?
Won't I be a fragment of humanity rather than the whole?
Wait, first see. All right, no, which moment you use the fragment, you are broken away from the whole. And the very breaking away from the whole is the individual. Now, wait. Don't jump to anything. Go slowly. Then the fragment assumes all importance. And so there's constant battle between the fragment and the whole, the individual and the collective opposed to the individual, the mass opposed to the special, and so on, so on. Now, first of all, we see not merely intellectual, but inwardly, the truth of it, that I am the whole of mankind.
I've been conditioned to think that I'm only a fragment, an individual first.
Madam, we said we would not use the word fragment. Fragment is something broken away from. The vase, breaking it, out of that comes a fragment. But we may be the fragment, because our thinking is so conditioned that we accept the fragment and blow up the fragment.
You're saying, sir, that the whole lies within the fragment, though? Or
So
what we
I
consider
don't
to be the
want
fragment?
Scott, just play with for a little while.
So I have a doubt here. If you say that thinking blows up the fragment, does not then thinking blow up the aspects of inequality also then?
Of course, everything from that arises.
But yesterday we agreed that inequality is a fact.
It's a fact.
But then it comes down that it's only a fragment then. Inequality happens to be a fragment.
This word, please. Don't you're going off to details here. Let's go slowly.
May I say something? Inequality is a fact, but thinking blows it up.
Thinking
Blows it up.
Blows
out
it up.
of proportion. Inequality is a fact. I'm short and somebody is tall. And somebody has great capacity in English. I don't have that capacity in English. That is inequality. It's a fact.
Let's begin. Do you? Sorry. Madam. Go ahead, please.
Since I'm coming from this, that thought has blown up the fragment of individuality. It boils down. The thought is again the
Thought itself is a fragment.
The individual, I think, is a chance.
Is?
Life is a chance.
Individual is a chance.
It's a chance. Like a
Is
die
a
falling.
chance.
It's a chance, yes.
Chromosomes and
Yes, like a die falling is of.
yeah, chromosomes and all the rest
Like
of
that,
it.
that,
No, you're all going off to something else.
It's a random selection, is it?
Now, may I ask a question? May I ask a question? Do you feel separate from the rest of mankind? You may be woman, you may be man, you're short. I'm not talking at that biological, physical level. Do you feel separate? It's a fact. What?
feeling separate from others.
I asked her, do you feel separate?
Yes.
Yes? You're all so shy.
No, it means you're not very clear exactly what you mean when you say, do you feel separate? In certain respects, feelings, emotions, we may be alike.
I mean, you are ambitious, you are greedy, you are envious, and you want to beat somebody, you want to be superior to somebody, you have more knowledge, you have contempt for somebody, you have praise somebody, you respect somebody, you have no respect for, and so on. Which all indicates you are separate from something else. Right?
There is something more in that.
Huh?
Separateness implies I am not you and you are not me. Not only that, but I can never be you. Or you can never be me. That is separateness.
No, sir. How do you know you can't be me? How do you know you can't be
That's the
me?
feeling. That is what one feels.
No, you see,
If one were to say the individual is not different from mankind or the whole,
what?
would that alter the meaning of what you've said?
No,
It would or it wouldn't.
it wouldn't.
So one can say that the individual is not different from the human.
Yes,
species that
I don't know what you're saying.
Well, is that different than saying what you already said, that the individual is mankind? To say it is not different from mankind.
All right, put it if you
Is
want to
that
put it.
all right?
Yeah, it's all right.
Sir, biological separateness is a fact. Psychologically, it's an illusion.
What?
Psychologically, it's an illusion.
It is?
Separateness.
What?
Illusion.
Illusion. It's an illusion.
Is that a fact to you? Or just invention?
I see it, sir, now.
Not. That means you have no ego. You're all playing with words, that's why. Let's drop this, because I don't think we'll get very far, because you haven't gone into this question. We said yesterday, if I remember rightly, do we all agree to the principle that we should have a group of students, whom we will groom, cook, or bring about a different quality of mind, with affection, with care, with all the rest of it? Do we, in principle, agree to that? Right? Do we, sir? Come on, sir, you are the teacher. I'm gone tomorrow.
I don't think there is division on that.
There is no division on that. Then, how shall we bring that about? Forget what we have said yesterday. Let's start it anew. How shall we bring it about? Without creating rivalry, division, exclusiveness, antagonism, and so on. How shall we bring this about?
Yesterday you said that only by looking at, taking it as a whole, it can be brought about and not working in fragments.
Yes.
But nevertheless, fragments do remain facts. Let me
Yes,
bring
yes, I understand.
We get children from various backgrounds.
Yes.
Some from very cultured, sophisticated families. And so by virtue of that, they come here already with a lot of social graces, sensitivity,
Conditioned.
poise, etc. Therefore, there is a possibility that some of them may get chosen for that. And in such a circumstance, how do you sort of cope with the left out child's disappointment, hurt, which is a fact, although it is only a fragment.
So would you say they come to
After
you
all, for no fault of that child, it's only an accident of
at
birth.
birth?
Yes.
I understand all that. Would you say they come conditioned socially, economically,
Yes.
religiously,
Yes.
and you are also conditioned as an educator, how shall you then bring about a group of people who are helping each other to uncondition themselves? Would you put that, would you accept that?
So may I say something here?
No, don't ask. I'm not the chairman.
When children come so conditioned, and if we choose them just because they have been conditioned so, then we are negating the very vital issue that we are looking for sensitivity. We are not to look for conditioning as a prerequisite. We should look for sensitivity in the child regardless of its background.
Yes, regardless of the background, but he was also conditioned.
Yes, I mean, this
He's
background
got-
may not be as sophisticated as this
No,
child,
but he's also conditioned in a different way. He may be more sensitive in spite of the conditioning. And to help him, to uncondition him, he'll be vastly sensitive.
I think he'll be more easier material.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, exactly the same thing as Mr. Thomas is pointing out. So what shall we do?
The difficulty seems to be in selecting.
What is wrong in selecting?
That's what I'm saying. As I said, you cannot really choose who is the right person. Maybe if every one of us get together and then talk over the things, maybe we'll select some people.
I don't want to use the word select. I think that's a wrong word. Forgive me for... So, some boys are good and will pass A level or O level, right? The others will not. Right?
Yes.
Why should there be rivalry between the boys that pass A level and others that don't?
I don't know if there's any rivalry.
So there isn't. That's all my point.
There's no rivalry.
Yeah.
We don't detain, we don't do
That's
anything
right.
of the
That's
sort.
right.
We send them all up. Some get through, some don't.
Now, which means what?
It is their
And then, in principle, get at the principle, not the individual. Don't get off. A level and O level is a test. You pass and I don't pass. Can't we do it on the same principle? There is no selection. You're not making a selection. You say this is the thing that has to be done. If you pass, come in. If you don't pass, keep out. But there is no, I'm not making the selection. The capacity of the boy is doing it, not me. I wonder if you get that. Huh? What do you say, sir?
That's right, sir, but then
And,
there's a test.
Huh?
There's a test.
Wait, no. We'll find the test.
That's right. I'm coming to that. But we...
So
Do-
the very fact that we have accepted the test as some kind of norm means that we acquiesce in that. We're saying, yes, this is a valid test. It may not be valid. I mean, it may be valid.
We'll
in a
find
very
out.
limited
We'll
figure.
find out if we all agree that there must be a test, not test which will separate people, not test of intellectual and all the rest of it. Let's talk it over. That is, in principle, we say A level and O level. There is no selection in that. It depends on the capacity of the boy. So we are not choosing. The boy is choosing. Right? Is that clear? Right, sir?
But he shouldn't vie for it.
Huh?
But he shouldn't vie for it.
Why for it? I don't think
Compete for it.
I don't think we're seeing the
Yes,
problem.
yes, that's exactly what I'm
I
saying.
don't think we're seeing this particular thing clearly. There is no special favor attached to it. I think very few will vie for it.
Yes, sir.
When I
Okay,
say
level on
vie,
Yes.
they'll vie for cricket captaincy, right? They won't vie for this.
But you're good at volleyball, or rather basketball, I'm not. But if you give the man the basket who is good at basketball greater marks and say, look, you have better room, better house, better this and that, then I begin to feel inferior and condemned, frustrated, and all the rest of it. I'm going to say this, it is very simple if you can go approach it. That is, do we agree that we do not choose? Do we agree to that? Huh? Huh? But the capacity of the boy itself is going to show us the fact, whether he's on that side or on this side of the fence. Sorry. Black sheep and white sheep. I put it 10 different ways.
In that sense, then, wouldn't the child himself do the choosing?
Huh?
Wouldn't the child itself would do the choosing? The child that shows this capacity would instinctively go in a certain
Therefore,
direction.
what
That
is
child
the
is not
line or the demarcation, A level and O level? Here, what is the line which line separates? I don't separate.
But I'm sensitive to the fact that there's a line and there is separation.
The line.
I don't separate.
Yeah, that's
but
all.
This boy with this sensitivity, and that this boy was good at cricket, and that this boy who would like to study English, these are facts.
Facts.
And I'm sensitive to the facts.
So what is the line? What is the fact which will help the boy to decide it for himself, that side or this side? You understand my question?
Isn't the basic fact the child's interest? If the child's not interested,
no, we can't do
there's no problem. I mean, there's no.
He may not be interested, but we may help him to be interested, or his interest might grow.
Would you also say that it would be open if a child thinks he's interested and wants to enter the group, that he should be.
Yes, of course. That's if obvious.
Therefore, it is not exclusive in any.
It's not a barrier. You don't build a wall.
If you take actual facts now, nobody has vied for this. They've all vied for plum jobs and careers and starting the system. Why do you say vying for this? I don't understand it at all.
Which one? To vie for a group unit. To be in the
students as they come, they want a good job, they want a career, they want to be somebody, they want to be trained to be sophisticated, worldly, and competitive. They don't want to have a mind that is not burdened with fear.
That's right.
Why do you say vying?
Suppose we have a line and then they have crossover. Suppose we say there is a line and they have crossover. And if the interest is to cross over, he'll vie for it, though if he doesn't have a capacity. If he has the capacity, there's no question of is vying for it.
How are
if he
you?
has no capacity,
See,
he
how are
vies
you?
for it.
How are you going to judge? That's the whole point.
Sometimes when you speak to a child about the things that we're going into here, they understand. They can listen to what you're saying. There's something.
Yeah, but
and sometimes
I understand.
a child is like speaking Chinese to them.
So there
maybe
must be.
That would be a basis.
There must be a way of helping the child, the student, awakening his whatever it is, and therefore he himself will go to this side or that side. How will you do this? You are not discussing this. That's what I want to find out. There's a monastery outside Florence called Certosa. I just remembered last night. I've been trying to find the name of it, where the novice is kept out for 11 years. You understand? So what's it?
In other areas, we start with the assumption that every student, a certain amount of proficiency is within the reach of every student. In other areas, but this area, I think it's that assumption may not work.
So I'm not. How will you help the student to walk over this side, not that side? I keep on repeating. If I'm a teacher, what shall I do?
Sir, I'm asking, is there any line at all? Isn't that something that is an arbitrary?
No, all right, I said cut it all out.
Even at the A level, O level.
That's arbitrary. That's arbitrary.
If that, because that only induces fragmentation.
I know, but I'm saying, all right, all that's accepted. Now, what shall I do? I am interested, fundamentally, not intellectually, very, very deeply, that you should come to this side, my side. Sorry. You don't jump on that one, my side, then you're this side. What shall I do?
When there is no judging at all.
Huh?
When there is no judging at all. When the boy comes at this side.
You're not, you're making, what shall I do as a teacher?
Excuse me, sir, I want to say one experience in my classroom. I try to express myself clearly. In one classroom, while doing some subject literature, Telugu literature, there was some connection to philosophical aspect. And we were discussing with the children. I was discussing with the children. This aspect, the topic was, suppose I know the remember Venkatramana, all the boys know his fact and what has happened, I'm saying. Who is that Venkatramana Rao? Venkatramana said, I am. So that name was given when you are very young, say 1.5 foot long. Now you are so long. Then he is that boy Venkatramana Rao, you are the Venkatramana Rao, you may grow old now. Who is that Venkatramana Rao? Then the topic went on discussing. Every second you are changing, the body is changing. Who is Venkatramana Rao? And that boy, I gave that name because that boy was very much interested. And all other students said, what is, let us do our literature, let us finish off this lesson. And that boy says, let us sing.
So are you saying,
sir,
so are you saying, through teaching a subject, you awaken his interest to come this side? Or you are in your class, you are watching who is good material, forgive me to use that word, good material, who can be helped to come to the north side and not go to south side. Is that what you are trying to say?
In fact, that boy is not good at such studies.
Yes, sir, I understand. Is that what you're saying? Please, I'm asking you to help me as a teacher. What shall I do? Bearing in mind the principle that I want 20, 30 boys who will be out of this mad rat race. That's my deep interest. It is irrevocable interest in me. And I said, this must be done in a school of this kind. And if it is not done, Narayan isn't doing his job. He's responsible for this. We discussed this before he accepted the job. And if he's not doing it, it's not worth it. Ask him to leave. So I'm asking myself, as a teacher, what shall I do? You understand my question? What shall I do? Help me out.
Could we offer the child another way of living? And so if he is attracted, he could come to it, maybe with more
It may
insight.
be, then if he may be personally attracted to me.
Not only to the a new way of life.
I can explain it to him. But the tug is so great on the opposite side that he will slip through my words, my affection, if they say, sorry, sir, I prefer that. So what shall I do? You're not answering my question.
So perhaps understanding each child separately. Going deep with him into his own fears.
So this is something that has to be done.
What's up?
This is something that has to be done all the time. When I play a game with him,
yes.
When I teach him, when I go for a walk, when I climb the mountain,
all right, sir.
when I eat food.
So you are awake, you are alert, you are aware as a teacher, and through your communication with the student, find out for yourself who is not, without this sense of separating all the rest of it. Can we do that? Will you do it? That means tremendous responsibility on you.
Sir, if each child is part of all humanity and is all humanity, shouldn't each child be given equally?
I'm doing that. I'm doing that. In the school I'm doing it. I've got 20 boys. I help all of them, but maybe one that will flower more quickly than the others. But you're not answering my question.
Sir, have we come to the point where we were yesterday, which is that one must be operating, it must be a wholeness and a love which is operating.
Yes,
and
yes,
in action.
yes. But that is too vague.
Exactly. So because we came to that the time before as well.
Yes,
when we
many
said that,
times we have come to
right.
that.
So could we
I've
go
spent
in-
my life at that.
Could we go
But
into that? Because that seems to be the basis of what we are supposed to be doing.
Scott, if I haven't got that, what shall I do? A holistic, approach. I haven't got it. It doesn't mean a thing to me. I understand it intellectually, logically, and so on, but it hasn't entered my heart. My heart isn't in it. Therefore, I'm not a good teacher. Right? Will you throw me out?
Not necessarily, because the other chap who comes in.
Maybe worse.
Could we go into that then, sir?
That's what I'm doing, sir. I'm doing that. What shall I do? Look at it, Scott. I'm one of the teachers. The other teachers are not interested in this. They play around with it. They're not interested. They're interested with money, all the rest of it. They have not the capacity or the interest for this. I'm surrounded by this. What shall I do? Yes, madam. Am I putting the question rightly?
Could I put the question differently, sir?
No, don't put the question differently. Stick to what I'm saying. Put it differently, all right, sir.
Because the question for me is more a case of just what you said before, that I hear it intellectually, and yet deep in my heart, that it's not a burning.
It hasn't taken root.
It hasn't taken root.
Because I'm not interested in it. Here you are, sir. There you're all sitting. Tell me if you're interested. So what shall I do? Let's face the fact. I am profoundly, with all my heart, I'm interested in this. And I mean it. This is my job. All my life I've done this. And here there are a group of teachers who are not interested in this at all. Right? Let's face it. And they're the dead weight and the few who are awake. There's a battle going on between these two. It is the same battle with the children. Got it? So what shall we do? My profound abiding interest is that we should create a new generation of people, right? Not the old, it's too awful to think of it even. And out of 30, 40 teachers, 10 are interested in it. Suppose, I'm just guessing. And the rest is a tremendous weight. So can we help each other as teachers to come together? Or is that impossible? Come on, sir, you.
No, it's not impossible at all.
Then why haven't you done it? God, sir.
As Scott pointed out, it hasn't been a burning problem in the heart.
What? Well, then what am I doing?
I know, that's a question.
Do I want my son, my daughter, to end up into this muck?
We are still caught in the snare of details, seeing through the details, seeing through the fact. We have not yet been able to see the whole.
What will you do, Sada? How will you see the whole? Are the 10 who are interested strong enough to say, look, change or get? Otherwise we won't create it. See, that's what I'm trying to see now. It's the same problem with the children. God, huh? Right, sir? So can the 10 bring about a change with the rest? Or the 30 overpower the 10? This is exactly what the school is. You follow? Right, madam? Huh? What should we do?
Those who wilt under pressure are also form of that, the other way. So those who are genuinely interested, do not wilt under any pressure.
So what should we do, sir? I'm asking you as a teacher. Don't get nervous.
No, definitely no.
Is this your real interest?
Yes.
That you want to bring about a group of students who are not caught in the trap. You know the trap, I mean the whole culture, the whole stupidity of mankind. Are you giving your life to it? Will you give your life to it? Please, sir, this is serious, because don't play yes and then just walk off.
No,
I'm just taking, it's like taking monastic vow. Wait, sir. No. A man who says, I will, it is so, I will do it, it means he has understood the whole issue, and he says this is the only way to bring about a new generation, new birth of a people. I'll give my life to it. Are you in that position? Mrs. Major? Taking deep breaths inside. Are you?
Say that you get scared.
Huh?
When you put it like that.
Put it, but comes to that.
Oh, whether we'll be able to face.
How do you create anything, sir? If you don't give your life to something, you give your life to have a baby. And after the baby is born, you throw him out. Right? Right? I'm asking you, Miss Major.
I don't want to throw them
Huh?
out. I don't want
That's not a question. Will you give your life to bring about this?
How can I answer?
Yes, you can. You are a mother. What is the matter with all of you?
Yes, you're not going to be satisfied with it.
No, but in your heart you know what to do. I won't put you all in a corner so that you can't crawl out of it. Because we've played this game for years and years and years. So I am interested in it. I'm giving my life to it. Now what shall I do? Here you are, and there they are. They are exactly like here, right? Exactly. Don't see the similarity of this. And if this is not clear here, you won't make it clear there. Right? Right, madam? Right, sir? If you don't say to all of us, this is our responsibility, total responsibility, to see this happens. We'll find ways, means, cook and play game, anything. This is our responsibility. Do you feel that? If you don't, how will you help those children? If you say, all right, we'll undertake this with blood and tears, then what is the next step? What shall I do if I'm here, Rishi Valley, and it's my total responsibility? What shall I do? Answer. Right? What shall I do? What will you do? I know what I do, but see, what's the point of that? I'm gone after tomorrow. What will you do, sir? If you say, this is my real life, this is my I am dedicated in the real sense, not like a monk who says, this is my dedication, this is my life, this is my work, this is my home, this is my everything I have. It is my delight to do this. Then, what shall we do? It must be done together, right? Because if I do it and you deny what I am doing, the child is left in confusion. If I whisper and you shout, it must be together. Are we together? See, when a basic question is answered, there is no reply, which means you are not together. Right, madam? Right? So what shall we do? So what shall we do, sir? Narayan? We say this must be done as a school, right? It's your responsibility. And you can't play anymore. You haven't time because you are destroying those children. We will do it next year. So what will you do? If I feel totally responsible, if few of us feel totally responsible, can we undertake the whole job? And the others say, please, lazy. I'll teach mathematics, English, French, geometry, whatever it is, I'll do it. I learn, study. You follow what I'm saying? I wonder if you follow this. Shall we undertake that? Will you undertake that? And say, gentlemen, if you don't come this way, please leave. Or ladies. You can't do this in Rajgarh because those who leave will promptly go to court. Right, sir? Yes, sir. Here they can leave, fortunately, when not in that position. See, we're not strong about anything.
I was thinking before you have to take that extreme step, would it not be easy for those who are interested to get together immediately?
Do it. I'm doing it.
We met together this morning. We've been meeting together every week twice since I came. We've been talking over.
No, Mr. Narayan, I wouldn't say we've been really meeting on the issue. We've been talking things.
We have been talking about various things, teaching the right way to start with, education.
But I'm asking, but Narayan, I'm asking about.
Now, if you can't start with oblique method and do function fully there, it's not going to be easy here.
Now, I'm asking you, Narayan, you're not answering my question. It's your total responsibility to see this happens. You can't say, give me a year. In that year, you're destroying all those children, right? Right? What will you do? No, you've got dead weight on one side, few awake on the other. Sorry, I'm not saying you're dead weight or anything, but it is, human life is that way. Personally, it's a torture to me to be in going on like this. Because I can deal with my own life. If I see something wrong, I change it instantly. I can't abide not changing it. I won't carry it to the next day.
I think the main problem lies in saying it's Narayan's problem. It is not. It is a joint collective responsibility.
I agree, but it's not, I said, Narayan, it's your total responsibility. Unless you undertake it, you don't go.
So we as teachers haven't really lived our part as teachers and been collectively involved in the whole thing.
Darling lady, why don't you do it? You will say the same thing next year.
I won't.
Thank God. Thank God. All right. If I am the teacher here, what shall I do? First of all, I would make it very clear to all the teachers, because I'm a teacher myself here. When you say you won't, don't leave. Agreed? That's right. I have done this before, talk to individual people, individually. I'd say, look, are you really interested? If not, please, we'll give you some job, go and do gardening, do anything else, but don't teach. I'll talk to each one of you and collect a group of people who are vital, strong, right, out of this bunch. Then I would go to the students and say, look, this is what we want to do. A level and O level. You understand? We're not choosing. By your own capacity, you are going to decide. Your own sensitivity, your own love, your own curiosity, your own innocence is going to come out of this, right? I would go into this for a week with all those boys and girls, every day till they get my feeling, right? Will you do it? And at the end of it, I'm not going to spend more than a week with the grown-up people. I may spend 3 weeks with those, but grown-up people, I'm not going to spend a week because I'm not. You follow? It's a burning thing. I can't. When the house is burning, we don't sit down and say who's put fire to it, who's the color of the man, beard, is he bearded, he's this or that, he's a man, woman, European. The house is burning. So I said, within a week, if it doesn't happen, please. I'll get other teachers, perhaps more intellectual, more capacity, pay them more. I would. I'll collect the money. This is a thing which must happen, therefore I'll... What do you say, Rajesh?
Sir, we have understood only part of the trap. My problem, because I have done a number of the things which you are saying. I have understood only part of the trap. I don't understand the whole trap.
No, let me begin.
It's my life to understand the whole trap. I've given my life to that.
Yeah.
And I want to see that there be children who understand this and who do not belong to the trap.
Yes.
But when I do not understand the whole trap,
no, I will.
I lose energy.
No. I won't start with the understanding the whole trap and then help the children. You follow what I'm saying? You follow? I won't wait till I understand the whole trap. But I've understood part of the trap. So I'm going to work at the part, and as I begin to work, I see the whole. I don't wait to see the whole and then work. I don't know if I'm conveying this. It's like saying, you are conditioned, I'm conditioned. Unless I'm unconditioned myself, I can't teach you. I uncondition myself and you by talking about it, discussing it with you, going into it. Which means we must both be interested. Does it mean, as has always happened in history, one strong man, you follow, creates it? And the rest just follow. Which is totally wrong. It has happened historically that way. Hitler, all the rest of the gangs, even the educators. One man comes with tremendous ideas and works like hell and brings about his school, and the rest says, yes, sir, we'll all follow. Here we're not doing that. Right? That is the real difference. And therefore, it's vital. When one person dies, the whole thing collapses. You've seen this in every organization. Here we are all working together, for God's sake. In the same boat, therefore, you follow? So, what shall I do if I'm a teacher here? I'm burning with this. Not for a day, it's my life. I'm burning with this. So shall I? What will I do? I know what I'll do. I'll talk to you. As I'm doing now, I'll talk to you. It's not my enthusiasm, my interest that is going to awaken you. It's by discussing, talking, you yourself see. If you don't see, then I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to waste my time. It's not worth it. Then if some of us see it, then can we all get together and talk, discuss, so that the roots go deeply. Right, sir? Oh. Right? And then my next step would be go to the students. They may be easier. I would talk to them in groups, in individuals, collectively, because I'm burning with it, therefore I don't care. I don't care in the sense, I don't care in the stupid sense. I care, but I don't care the way I do it. I'm going to talk to them, walk with them in the class, but my principal thing is this. Even in the class, I would talk to them before the subject begins. They will soon find out, sir. If I mean business, they will soon find out I won't yield. So I'm asking Narayan, are we strong enough, vital enough to create this? And we've got a school, 300. We need teachers. 10 won't be enough, right?
No.
No. What shall we do? Come on, sir. What shall we do? Is it a matter of good salary? Pay them much more?
Partly. I don't think
Wait, I'm asking.
partly then.
If it is, let's get money to pay more. Fine, doesn't matter. You follow? We'll beg. I'll go around with a begging bowl. Is it a matter of higher pay? Is it a matter of minds that I've trained?
That's right, more than.
Huh?
Minds that have lost initiative.
Yeah.
Because they have worked in the groove of habit for so many years.
Yeah.
As we're discussing, it means really a fear to get out of it.
I'm asking, wait,
I think
money,
that's the issue.
money, good brain, good capable brain,
Yes.
And he must know what we're talking about. A good capable brain will understand what we're talking about. Now, can you do this? Advertise, shout. In Madras, you're going to have an opportunity when there are about 3,000 people. Say, look, we're going to pay more. My God, come on. Look, Narayan, I've been saying this for the last 18 years, right? More when Balasundar was here. Nothing was done. So will you do this?
It has to be done.
No. Will you do it?
What do you say?
It's all our responsibility. It's not his alone.
Yes, I want to strike a slightly discordant note about this payment business.
What?
About this payment business.
What?
He wants to strike a discordant note about the payment business.
I feel that if the right type of person is there, and then you say that nothing will prevent you from putting your best, that makes sense.
Yes, sir, but
if you say to a man, we'll pay you, then you are striking a wrong motivation.
I understand, sir.
And I feel we must be very careful not to get people
who come for money,
who say yes, yes, and they come with conformist minds who
Of
are
course.
incapable of this.
Entendu. That's I understand that, but you see,
the money we are not going to offer is not that much anyhow.
No, therefore I feel that let them come to us for the intrinsic interest in the thing. It
why
is
haven't
them-
they? Chuji, why haven't they?
Sir, in our country, no student aspires to become a teacher.
That's
because of the, it doesn't
everywhere.
give any respect or money aspect.
And that's what I'm saying, sir. The teacher is the greatest profession in the world. We don't accept that position.
Especially they don't like to become a school teacher, all right, college lecturer, all right.
I'm talking of the school teacher.
So don't you think that unless a person inwardly opts for this as a vocation,
Sir,
unless he feels that
I understand,
fulfilling-
but I must make him feel this is a vital center.
That's absolutely.
I am saying that, sir.
No, I felt that you see, sir, when you say money, I get a little
I
frightened because
include the
I
money.
know that in Rajghat
Money is part of it. It is part of it, but it is not. I don't think we are basing.
I
it
don't
only
think
on-
we should mention it.
It's part of it, though.
Ajuji, as Mr. Venkataraman pointed out, in the world, the teacher is the least respected, the least paid, who has not the good brains. If he had good brains, he'd go off to something else. So that is the fact.
That is more so in India, sir.
Yes, sir. I know
sir,
more so in this blasted
I
country.
feel we are passing through a paradox. There are teachers who are breaking their hearts in wrong kind of institutions.
Invite them. It's your job, not.
Sir, it's a question of our finding the right type of person. Because there are both things. There are people who can just become mediocre in a place where they think that now everything is very comfortable and they go mediocre. And there is the other type where the person is suffocating because he is made to work under wrong conditions.
So-
I feel we should get in that kind of.
Well, you should, but what will you do about it?
How to get at it? That is.
Huh?
How to get at it?
How will you,
Sir, the fact is that so far we haven't made any effort at all in this direction. I don't think we have really made any sustained effort at all for that. Maybe
So
this is time
how
we
will you do
really
it?
did
You mean sustained effort for the right kind of
right kind of persons. It's quite. I've been discussing with Rajesh for quite some time, sir. Maybe if this is time we really did it.
So, sir, I don't know anything. I may be living in Madras, not know anything about this school.
Yes.
And what you are doing, and what you serious, not just the flippant, that you have got a good mind, not a shoddy little mind, that you've got a good mind and you are working here, then none of them know about all this.
Right.
What will you do? Advertise? Go around?
This can be done, sir.
No, sir, go around to all these schools and say, look, this is what we are doing. Come and help. Their first question is, I've got family, I've got children, money. Oh, sir, you're not facing all this. All right, what shall we do? Practical. To attract the best minds into this. Mind, I mean, not just brains, but
So here afterwards, in all our gatherings, we invite people who are connected with education, either a student or a teacher somewhere or lecturers in the colleges.
yes, sir.
Not others.
So, right, let's do it. We'll have a meeting in Madras.
We'll scout for them in Madras, various places.
I'm taking Madras. Will you do?
Sure.
We have to start now then. You have to start writing to all the colleges and education institutions those that we would like to have a couple of them visiting us, be our guests at some of our lectures. Maybe you
Yeah,
it
we
will
haven't,
come out of curiosity.
probably
they
we
might
haven't
like
even
it.
advertised it. The whole thing hasn't even come out in papers in this form that really this is what we are trying to do.
What will you advertise?
I am inclined to think that
Maybe
What will
we
you
should
advertise for? Like
we should
kind of
discuss
mind?
it. No, the wording and how we should put it. These are all things which have to
I
be
don't think
discussed.
it's advertised.
really would
Let them
help,
come and
Mr.
see for themselves. I think that will do more.
By advertising, you'll get only jobs.
You see,
If we could make even clear what the school stands for and sort of give.
Oh yes, we are
That
making
would
it,
maybe.
we are making it much more and more clear to every parent.
Not
I
only
mean,
the
what
parents,
is
I mean
our
the
stand?
general
No.
public.
We are making it clear to all the teachers here, we have been doing it, we are now doing it.
I think
And we will continue in this.
I think
But
that
I
would
think
attract a lot of people.
it's not as simple as that.
No, supposing we do it in the educational areas where there is a contact with the right type of people. Perhaps that would, instead of just advertising for teachers.
in other words, you haven't thought about this at all. This is the first time you're thinking, for God's sake.
I think our challenge lies in the public schools headmasters conference.
I
That's
won't
the
invite
first.
any of them.
I think you ought to.
Look, Narayan, it has been a problem in Brockwood. Correct me, Scott, and whoever in Brockwood. Mrs. Simmons and others tried to find out some teachers. They went to Oxford, Cambridge, and all the rest of it. They brought together so-called first-class brains who have PhD, all the rest of it. The first they demanded, girls. Now this is what they demand. A pub, near town, Saturday and Sunday off to go to London. You follow? They're not interested in all this stuff. So they said, doesn't matter, don't let them have. We'll create our own teachers. Right, sir? You follow? But you do neither. So will you, Narayan? No, when I say Narayan, please, I mean the whole gang. See, Narayan, you haven't time. Face that fact, you haven't time. I'm working at it, I'm doing it, I'm trying it, I'm talking. You haven't time. Because those children in the meantime are being destroyed. Right? Mm. stop, don't you?